Hi, everybody, and welcome to day one of Mosaic's annual Fall Fast. We incorporate rhythms like these into our church calendar to intentionally create space for God in our lives in a direct and, yes, calendared way. So over the next 3 days, we are fasting and praying for 3 circles of relationships: for ourselves, our friends and neighbors, and for our families. Now, when I said that part right there, the part about having a relationship with yourself, that may have raised an eyebrow or two, or prompted at minimum a question mark or two. The question being, what does it even mean to have a relationship with the self? Well, think about what it means to have a meaningful relationship with someone else, anyone else, a loved one or spouse. What does that look like? Well, at minimum, it means being present. It means listening. It means being aware. Listening to how they are doing, being aware of what's going on inside them. And the same goes for what it means to have a relationship with the self. As a pastor, the vast majority of personal breakdowns I witness come when an individual is unable or they are unwilling to slow down long enough to listen to what's going on the inside of them. And to be honest, I can be guilty of that failure 100 times over as well. A few weeks ago in a message I preached about Moses and the Israelites at the Red Sea, I shared about a moment that I had with God one morning where, in the middle of what felt like a really bad personal situation, somehow I sat still long enough to hear from Him and to be changed by that encounter. And after I shared that in the sermon, over the next several days, I had a flood of messages thanking me for sharing that very simple story. I'd say I received more kind words about that 3-minute portion than anything else I've taught or preached in months. It was like I accidentally struck oil in the desert of people's hearts. And all we do when we do that is just to practice Christianity 101. We sit still. We ask God, why am I feeling this way, God? God, how do you feel about how I feel? We just become aware of who we are before God. Now, I wish I could say that every day was like that for me. However, the more I've leaned into that practice of just sitting still with God for even 15 to 20 minutes in silence with no program or plan, I have found that a sense of calm and divine peace stays with me for the rest of the day. And so today, I want to invite you to do the same while you fast for the state of your own soul. Sure, while it's true that modern culture can overanalyze the self, it's also true that historically, the Christian church has led the way in considering how our self interacts with God and with others. The Psalms are full of these things. Bless the Lord, O my soul, Psalm 103 says. Psalm 139 says, search me, O God, and know my anxious thoughts. So I'll ask you to pray with me right now, that same prayer written by, of all people, King David. Would you pray this? Search me, O God, and know my anxious thoughts. Search me, O God, and know my anxious thoughts. As you fast and pray today, I'm trusting that you will allow God to meet with you and to speak to you about yourself. I'll see you tomorrow.